Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. I hope everybody had a pleasant evening and you were doing the activities that you chose to participate in. How about that? I just wanted to come in real quick and say some things. Today is it should be May the 10th, but I cannot keep up with these dates and stuff like that. Um, I just want to come through and talk and do what I do. And what I'm so thankful about when I'm talking is the people that need to hear this will hear it, and the people who don't need to hear it, they won't find it. They will not find a lot of these videos actually until well into the future. And for some people, by that time, it's like you're going to be well into the future, and you're going to be sitting in places where you thought you would never be, okay, which can be a good and bad, positive or negative. It all depends on your thoughts, actually. And I told you, everything's based on energy. All right, everything's based on energy. It has nothing to do with your beliefs, your supernatural, uh, you know, and all those other situations we rely on for decade after decade after decade, and actually thousands of years after thousands of years after thousands of years. We we participate in rituals, and but yet we put out into the atmosphere, put out into the universe, whether we're praying, meditating, whatever we're doing, we're putting out so much information, with our thoughts. All of our thoughts are crashing into each other. Everybody has contradictions in what they're asking for and what comes to them, or what they're asking for and what they have, what they want, what they need. Everything's a contradiction. And I told you, you got to get those contradictions in order, because because there's no reason why, after so many thousands of years, let's go millions, let's say millions. Who knows? It's relative anyway. In other words, it doesn't matter. We're here right now, sitting like I'm sitting right now in my favorite chair right now, talking to you with my favorite blanket behind me, you know. And but we're so advanced as human beings, yet we're acting as if we just laid onto the earth. Okay, because we keep forgetting. And that's intentional in most cases, because of the fact that we were not elevating ourselves and raising our consciousness. We just allowed ourselves to be so manipulated and so indoctrinated that that anything, for that matter, that has enough um, intentions and willfulness to enslave people, indoctrinate people, manipulate. We gave people perfect opportunity to do that time and time and time again. Someone can easily come in and masquerade and say certain words to you, and boom, we're right back in a trance. We vowed that we wouldn't do this. We bestowed upon ourselves that we are just so intelligent. Usually we say we're so intelligent. We say these words of that we're blessed, that we're highly favored, we're chosen. God got me. Um, Fine, though, but we don't understand a lot of energy behind certain things that we're saying. And so when we do certain rituals and certain things, it's going to be so hard to get out of your trance. A lot of us are in trance, and we are like, all somebody has to do is, it's like nobody really needs to blow a dog. Nobody needs to have a dog whistle anymore. For a lot of us, we'll fall for it every time. We'll say we'll be on our way up in our vibration, on our way up in our consciousness. We're becoming unconscious, and we're paying attention and being in reality. But then as soon as somebody says something, boom, a familiar term or word to you, whoop, you're right back into a trance. You're right back into indoctrination. So unfortunately, anyone, like I said, can come through and do that because they recognize how simple we are when it comes to our energy. We're simple with that. You know, we give our energy to I mean, we will expel our energy to anything that walks or flies or, we'll go into a trance, is my point. We think we're snapped out of stuff and then immediately. And so, unfortunately, that's going to be the case for a lot of us for the rest of your existence. And that's going to be millions and millions and millions and millions of years where you're going to always be enslaved and controllable. All someone has to say to you is, a few, because words do have have an effect because they're thoughts and words and actions and behaviors, all energy. So that brings me to this. Um, if the time is running out, whether people want to accept that or not, time is running out in so many factors. Now, what does that mean? Well, that it could be, it's more so on an individual level, actually, where if you don't finally come out of your trance, and your trances are embedded in belief and supernatural, and they're not in reality, you're just going to be in an abyss, hands down, forever. And at some point, I think by the time of the dawning of the age, a lot of people are going to know that they're in an abyss, and they're going to know that they can't get out. Now, how does that feel? To know you're in an abyss meaning you're just in a spin of deja vu, deja vu, deja vu. Anytime you think you've escaped something, or anytime you think you've released something, you're drawn right back into it, and it's usually external. Somebody's external can do it. They say a series of words to you, and you're right back in it. There, and it can be a snap of a finger, just that simple. When I when I started doing these videos and in the beginning, I remember I used to yell into the phone, and I got a lot of attention. I mean, I laughed because it was, because like I said, you have to be creative, and you have to get into things when the window is open. You be able to jump in, or you need to interrupt a party, interrupt a meeting, interrupt a group, you know, and snap people out of their trance. There's a lot of people in trances, and which continues to be, and I knew they knew better. I'm like, why are you act? Well, and so I start questioning, why is everybody acting like that? What's everybody upset about? Why is everybody going back and forth, back and forth, back? And so finally, I think a lot of people realize, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing? I don't need to do that. I remember there's one person in particular, that I had an interest in. I'm saying to myself, why are you acting like that? You don't have to go back and forth with people like that. Do you know who you are? Do you know what you are and why you are? And so that's how we lose a lot of our opportunities and windows of opportunities. Is that we could easily get snapped back into our rituals and our trances and our indoctrination. So simple, by someone saying a series of words, and because we're not recognizing that anybody can be manipulated. I can be manipulated just as much as anyone else. Okay, I can be controlled just like anyone else. But I have the experience, and the meditation help me to know that, okay, it's all about reality and nature. You have to bring yourself back, because it's going to continue and continue. And like I said, that's why some people are going to be walking right off a cliff, behind a lot of people. A lot of them are just false leaders. They're false messengers. And they know that they can easily get, because there's so many of us. And like I said, 10 billion of us. Okay, you have to remember back in the day of Moses and the rest of them, it was probably not even 1 million people back then. Okay? And now we're at 10 billion. And so a lot of people are still living off of those philosophies and theories and opinions, even back then. And a lot of people rolling back into those times as well. I see that just by, I can see that happening, as a matter of fact, already. And especially in places where it's just war after war after war after war. Those, most of those people are already back in the time. They've rolled themselves back into a stage of development that's considered primitive. And I hate to say that word, but yes. They're living in an existence of primitiveness, even in 2023. Something back before, but what's different about it is the war, the constant, non-excessive war that this planet seems to always have themselves involved in. That's why that's why it's impossible to assist everyone. As long as war is happening, all you can reach is a certain people, and everybody else has to be left behind. So you have to make the choice. If you're going to keep trying to drag people along, because you really don't need to be doing that per se, where you have to be persuading people, convincing people, intentional fear tactics. It's okay to sound the alarm and say this is a state of emergency, because it is, and it has been for a long time. So, time. That, again, that I always come back to time. And I already know for the most part that some people are just lost forever. They could be family members, they could be friends, they could be neighbors, strangers. They're lost forever. But yet you'll still interact with them for only so long. And then, like I said, at some point, everyone is going to start separating and moving around, and they're going to be where they're going to be. They're going to be where their energy and their thoughts have opened up for them to be. Your thoughts take you to your destiny. Okay? Your thoughts open up the world that you envision, the world you visualize. And you think you're just talking, because what's happening is a lot of thoughts are just going unconscious. People don't realize they got to spin in their thoughts, ruminating. They don't know they're doing that because they're so detached from it. But it's happening. In other words, you're operating all of the factors of stuff that's coming in your life. You're controlling that. It's no one's fault. Okay, yes, we're in the midst of a disaster with our climate. And I told you Mother Nature is going to handle it all. And so people are going to be where they need to be to finally, be given the opportunity to be present and realize what is coming to you. Like when Mu and Atlantis were battling back in the day. I'll talk about Mu and Atlantis. Because a lot of people like to refer to that, claiming they want to go back to and go back to Atlantis. No, I don't think you do. I don't think you really do. And what's great about that with Atlantis is there's proof of it. in the bottom of the sea near Florida. I mean, deep, 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 deep within that ocean near Florida. And some people know it's there, know some stuff is there. So it's not a fantasy, is my point. A lot of other stuff that we go on about are fantasies and have never existed. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to be arguing with people about that or stirring up any unnecessary discord. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. The proof is in the environment. And if you're paying attention to that, you ought to snap out and say, wait a second here. What did I create? And now a lot of people are going to be doing that. They're going to be like, what in the world have I created here? And there's no escape of it. And that's going to be the part that's going to be more devastating than anything, because you're going to be because I think everybody is going to be completely have a win at some point in the future. Those of you that have stayed unconscious, and some of you who continue to be complacent, who continue to drown or to continue to operate out of your beliefs and supernatural and all of your ego-based existence. I think one day, I think several times throughout before it happens, whatever it is, whatever your destiny is, you're going to have some window, you're going to have a brief moment of clarity and eye-opening, and you're going to be able to be right there in that moment. And that moment can be a paradise or complete hell and destruction that you, the individual, created. But anyway, with Mu and Atlantis, the battles back and forth, because that's what they were doing. All right. I'm not sure which one is which, but it's irrelevant, because they destroyed all of themselves. All of them were destroyed. Remember, they completely destroyed themselves. All Mu and Atlantis. Keep that in mind. I know a lot of people like to be all fantasizing about, I'm from the, I was an Atlantist. I was a Mu, I was from Mu, come on now. Be realistic. So after the last battle between the two of them, there was this one group, let's just say Mu. Mu was, on the, Atlantis, they thought they had blown Atlantis away or blown the people from Atlantis away or destroyed them. I don't know. So while they're there celebrating, drinking their wine and smoking their weed, I'm just joking. But while they're there celebrating and this and that and the other, it something caused them to pay attention to something coming towards them. They looked towards the sky and they saw something coming towards them. And they knew at that moment, whatever it was going to completely destroy all of them. Okay, and then moments later, guess what? It did. And that was the end of Mu and Atlantis. Okay, so in other words, they thought they won a battle. Let's say Mu thought they won. Well, Atlantis had other plans. Yeah, they may have destroyed most of the Atlantis people, but prior to that, someone, because these people were apparently high consciousness, they were highly intelligent and high consciousness. Something was planned beforehand to happen, and that was to create something that would have wiped them all out, and or some type of device or some type of I hate to say a particular word, but I won't say it. But it was like a someone had the vision to know that a particular thing was going to be happening, and they set a timer. Let's put it that way. They set a timer on a device to go off, and because I guess they knew they were losing the battle, and that's what cowards do as well. When they know they're losing the battle, they'll set up a timer of a certain device to go off at a certain time and blah blah blah. So that's what happened basically. Someone had they knew they was losing a war. Is it simple? This put it, for example, like the war that we're having now. Okay, they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, I can guarantee you. Well, I don't even want to say that. Let's drop. I can guarantee you. Let's just think this through. If you think it through logically and use some rational, reasonable thinking, you can probably sense where this war is going. If someone doesn't stop it immediately, I can guarantee you someone has a timer on a particular type of device to go off, regardless of whether this war ends or continues. Okay, and that device is a nuclear device. Okay, I sense that. That's just something I'm sensing, that that a nuclear bomb is going off regardless, because that was the intention. Just like it is with weapons. A lot of people have stockpiled weapons on weapons and weapons, and they know at some point, if they don't use it, what? Nobody wants to keep cleaning 100 guns. These people want to use these guns that they've stockpiled and stockpiled. They know that the ammunition can only last so long. So guess what? So it's all about thinking. These people want to use their weapons. They want to use these ARs, these 10, 20 ARs that they purchase freely, in a free environment where you can stockpile weapons. And so that's why I say be careful about how everyone's talking about reforming with these weapons. Be careful, be mindful, okay, what you're doing. Are you taking guns out of the hands of innocent people? Okay. Or do you need to go after these people that have stockpiled weapons and take weapons from them instead of taking weapons from innocent people? So everyone needs to be really, get out of your damn emotions and feelings and set your motherfucking ego aside and think about what you're doing, which no one wants to do. We want everybody else to do it. A lot of other people just want to sit around complaining and going back and forth with people and bullying people and doing everything in their power to dispose, let everybody know how intelligent you are, how much how great you are. And a lot of you are just sitting in a dark room in front of a computer, miserable as hell, with self-hatred spewing through all avenues of your existence. So let's be clear and effective about our intentions. Let's resolve our contradictions. Okay, and let's start thinking for ourselves. Again, the damage has been done. You will reap what you have sown. You have to. That's the swing of the energy. That's the swing. That's the energy of the boomerang. But you do reincarnate. So you'll still be given other opportunities to resolve things. But in the environment, that's where you're gonna probably just not even have the will to continue. And a lot of people are just gonna continue to blow their heads off, only to come back into the same reality. Blow their heads off, coming back and and it's like I said, an abyss until one day you're gonna finally be made aware again. When you realize that you're spinning out of control, and you're going to be into the sun and eventually into the black hole, and that'll be it. All right, so I want to share that plot. Use that as a movie plot. Use it as something to complain about and whine about. About what is this woman talking about? Go ahead and do it. Is this woman crazy? Go ahead and say it. I can take it. And trust me, I'll be back.